What's up guys, James here from Reflect the Screen, and I watched Avengers Infinity War. I'm gonna have to take a seat for this one. I'm getting weak at the knees thinking about this. Oh, there we go. There we go. So guys, before I begin this review, it is spoiler free. If you're looking for a review that's gonna be a tell-all, this ain't the one. For this review, we're just gonna talk about what the Russo brothers did alongside the cast and crew. I'm not gonna mention names too specifically. Anything that you've seen in the trailer, I might mention, like Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, Spider-Man, but I won't mention what they do and what the film does with them, just the themes, just how I feel. I'm gonna avoid these spoilers, and what I might do for the comments is approve comments for this video, just in case some people try to get into the comments and, well, I don't know, troll, do what they do best. So with that being said, let's dive in. Infinity War is, as we know, a 10-year project, essentially. This is 10 years worth of films, 18 films in total in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's led up to this moment. And this moment is Thanos is the Mad Titan. He's looking to reclaim all 6 Infinity Stones. He wants to use them to destroy the world. He says it's purifying the world. We say it's, well, murder. Thanos, played by Josh Brolin, begins his quest for all 6 Infinity Stones, like I said, and will stop at nothing short of death for anyone who stands in his way. And let me tell you, Thanos commands the screen whenever he makes his presence known, whenever he's featured in scenes. It's him and him alone. He might be one of the strongest villains I've seen in an action film in quite some time. The dude is menacing, and Josh Brolin crushes it. Now, the Avengers, after being broken up due to the events of Civil War, must quickly make amends to ensure that Thanos does not complete the Infinity Gauntlet, which he can use to purge the universe. Luckily, the Avengers get some help from our Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the fun begins. Yeah, I'm not going to really dive much more into the story other than that, because hey, y'all need to see this for yourself. And if you're asking whether or not you needed to see a lot of the films leading up to this, I believe they're very important, but we'll touch up on that in a little bit. There's so much going on in this movie. There are multiple strands for this storyline, so many different events happening. I mean, you have Doctor Strange with Stark, you have Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor, you have Thanos with his evil... they frustrate me, those things. But it's very impressive how the Russo brothers just took control of the plot and really put it in the right direction. Every time you think you're maybe seeing too much of one hero, they pivot to the other and try to give shine equally to each superhero. We had a fair share for everybody. And I have to remember, there's a part 2, so this is really just about Thanos and building up to the crescendo in the second part. Now, what I do love about what Anthony and Joe Russo did is that they really made you feel like there was that gap and that divide between the Avengers. And sure, it's been a bit of time since a big ensemble film like Civil War, but we feel that in this movie, which is so cool, because you hear things like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, or, oh, I haven't contacted Cap since the Sokovia Accords, and stuff like that. So it really just plays into the film kind of bringing us back into reality in that first half, and then in the second half delivering a ton of emotion. It being, like I said, 2 years since the Avengers is falling out, I think that it provides an authentic feel to this movie, and it avoids the generic stuff of, oh, we're just gonna come back together and we're gonna be just fine because big bad evil villain dude, in this case Thanos, is gonna destroy the universe, so we must put aside our differences. It takes a little time, which is really, really neat. I couldn't help but ooh and ah at the fight sequences too. I mean, the Russo brothers and fight choreographer Daniel Hernandez delivered arguably some of the best fights I've seen in the MCU. There's so much organization. I mean, while having Iron Man and Doctor Strange, for instance, fight on screen, everything felt like an organized mess, if that makes any sense. There are plenty of those hero moments as well. I mean, each Avenger just showcases their ability in such a unique way, and there's some new gadgetry being shown, there are some new abilities being put on display. It really, oh boy, it riled me up a bit. And I mean, inside I was screaming yeah and fist pumping, but at the press screening I was just, oh, that was so cool. So I tried to contain my inner childhood, but also realize that what I'm watching is incredibly impressive. I mean, the CGI, everything was top-notch Marvel, and for good reason. This is arguably their biggest film that they've done to date. I loved it. And sure, some of the moments were fan service. I mean, some of the big battle sequences had a ton of those one-liners that you come to expect from an action movie. But it was fan service in a good way. It never felt forced. However, what did feel a little forced was the humor in the first half of the movie. Look, I know a Marvel movie's gonna have laughs, it's gonna have funny lines written into the script, but this kind of felt shoehorned. In some instances, the running jokes, they just kind of fell flat, but they continued with it. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't think you can have too much humor in such a serious movie. But honestly, the balance between humor and serious, it leveled out and it got better. I was getting a little annoyed by how many jokes were happening. I laughed, don't get me wrong, there were some like gut-busting laughs in this one, but I felt like in that first half, as we're easing our way into Infinity War, you don't want too much funny. I would have preferred more serious of a tone in the first half. Luckily though, we got plenty of that in the second half. And another minor complaint, like I said earlier, some heroes didn't get enough screen time. It's tough to do. It's an ensemble film, bigger than anything Marvel's ever done. So the Russo brothers had to pander to some of the bigger names and maybe leave some of the names for the second part. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I just personally wish I could have seen some more of certain heroes. You know, when it comes to the writing, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely did a great job with this screenplay. There is a sharp increase of emotion, and I loved it, and it really left me in awe. I mean, some moments really wrote to my heart, honestly, and it tugged at my heartstrings. Honestly, like I've been telling friends that have asked about this movie, I would just say pay attention to everything. Yeah, you want to laugh, and it's fine, but what about the little bit of dialogue after the punchline? That's important too, and that's something that I miss sometimes, so I'm excited to go back and see it twice. And another concern I had going in was, will this feel too much like a big build-up to the second part? Luckily, it didn't really feel like that. So it did a good job of not being strictly a setup movie, so they're just kind of teasing you with it now. I think that this movie really did pander to the relationships that we saw, for example, in Spider-Man Homecoming. Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland have this really good chemistry on screen, and their characters are almost like father-son. In this movie, well, it caters to it. Now, one of the biggest questions I had when leaving the movie was, does the movie hold weight because it's a 10-year build-up and Marvel's telling you it's a big build-up? Or does the movie hold weight because it truly could stand alone and be a good action film? For now, if I had to answer the question, I would probably lean towards the latter. So part 1 of Infinity War down, part 2 to come. We're in for a treat, you guys, and I really think that this movie is worth going to a theater for. I mean, you really do need to see it on a big screen. Getting that big Dolby sound, it's worth it for this movie. It's worth rushing out there. It's gonna be worth it on home video. This is gonna be a film I think you'll remember, I mean, for plenty of years to come. Well, there you have it, y'all. Infinity War. Most definitely worth it. My knees feel better now. So before I head up out of here, go ahead and give this video a like if you liked it. Let me know in the comments without spoiling it, if you spoil this. Now, if you want to subscribe for more content, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to hear, maybe see some things that don't always appear on this YouTube channel, go ahead, reflectthescreen.com, and you'll see some more content over there. I'm James Perfetto for Reflect the Screen, and I'll see you at the next screening. I'm gonna see you at the next Infinity War screening. How about that?